Hey guys, this is Mike from BTR Budget Tech Reviews here, and today we're going to take a look at the Moto G6. Hey guys, welcome to my latest phone review. This is the Moto G6. Now let's get it going. If you guys follow my YouTube channel, thanks for watching again, by the way. Again, this is the Moto G6, and this is the first smartphone I review in quite a long time. This phone came out in April of 2018, and it's a phone that I've been very interested in reviewing because, first of all, the Moto G lineup has always had a pretty good build of phones. So let's get to it, guys. So again, this is the Moto G6. And we're going to start off with the body of the phone. Okay, so let me move this out of the way really quick. This is my little phone stand. So all the way around, guys, as you can see here, the phone is pretty much solid all the way around. It does not have a removable back cover, okay? So if that's something that might bother consumers, then that might be something you want to look at. But of course, all the way around, this is actually a glass back. One thing I'm not a fan of is this back portion right underneath the camera. Normally, Motorola will have a little like indentation here or something like that, and I'm just not a fan of this little thing in general. It's just kind of like an imprinted logo there on the back screen. One thing to note though is that this is going to be a fingerprint magnet for you guys, so if that's going to be a deal breaker, then I would not get it, obviously, but you're definitely going to need a case for this phone, okay? So obviously in the back you have your 12 megapixel camera. In the front you have your 8 megapixel camera, right? And we'll get to the cameras a little later, but all the way around, again, this is going to be a 5.7 inch IPS display, and it's not a bad looking display, to say the least. Let me see if I can get my camera to focus here. Not a bad looking display. I mean, for the most part, I haven't had any issues. You know, it does have a PPI, or pixel per inch, of 424, so it's pretty on par with most of the smartphone lineups that you'd see in 2018. Let me see if I can get that to stay still there. There you go. But for the most part, you know, again, it's not a bad looking phone all the way around. One thing to note, I guess, is the volume rockers are going to be over here. Power button is going to be right here, and very bottom is going to have USB Type-C, and right here is going to be your 3.5 millimeter headphone jacks. So something that a lot of newer phones are kind of leaving out nowadays, like Apple or other carriers or other mobile providers. Well, maybe not mobile providers, but you guys know what I mean. Other manufacturers of cell phone, a lot of them are leaving phones like this out. I don't know if my camera's moving, but anyways, so going back, on the front, you do have that front fingerprint sensor, and let me see if I can actually get my camera to focus there. There you go. So fingerprint sensor actually works very nicely, very quick. One thing that I do not like is that big chin on the bottom, though, if you guys can see that or not. Big chin, unfortunately, in 2018, it's kind of a no-no. Same thing on the top. It does have a bit of a chin on top as well, but of course you have your camera, your earpiece, etc. like that, and it's not really a bad looking phone, but at the same time, Motorola, if they're going to get with the times, they're going to have to eliminate that chin. I don't know, I mean, I guess, maybe they removed the chin from like the Moto Z phones, etc. like that, but again, this is the Moto G, so again, this is a budget smartphone, retailing at $229 currently from the making of this video, unlocked. There are different variants of this phone. Again, you guys can get the Moto G Play and then the Moto G6 Max, which is like a bigger version of this phone, obviously. Okay, so again, that's pretty much the physical features of the phone, guys. So let's get going on the actual specs of the phone. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna put this to the side, and let's see if I can actually get my specs to pop up here while I'm name dropping it, guys. So again, this phone has a 5.7 inch display, 12 megapixel camera. It does have a a pretty good, decent camera on the front. By the way, I failed to mention that this does have a flash in the front. So not a lot of front-facing cameras have flashes. So I think that's interesting that Motorola is doing that in 2018. And again, this is a 8 megapixel camera on the front. Doesn't take bad selfie shots, by the way. Okay, so going back to specs here, this does have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 octa-core processor, clocked at 1.8 gigahertz. So for it being octa-core, it is very snappy. From moving from app tab is not very difficult at all. I can get on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and it's really not something that's going to be a deal breaker. Especially if you are, a very big app whore, so to speak, in 2018, right? But for the most part, it's going to get the job done. Okay, I can't really complain about the usability of this phone. Okay, so again, going back to specs, this phone does have a 3000 milliamp battery, which of course, if you get the Play version of this, the Play version of it has a 4000 milliamp battery. Same screen size, same everything, almost the same internals. It just has a different processor. So I'm not exactly 100% sure why Motorola would not give you guys the 4000 milliamp battery instead of the 3000 milliamp battery that this comes with. Not to say that, of course, this is bad a battery or anything like that. It does have fast charging, etc., like that. But if you guys want an extended battery, you guys might consider the Moto G Play. So this thing does only have 3 gigs of RAM, which is a very odd number in my opinion. I don't know why Motorola would give this phone 3 gigs of RAM opposed to 4. I feel like if it had 4, it would actually be a perfect budget phone, especially a budget phone under $250, guys, just because 1 extra gig could get rid of that jank, so to speak. And when I talk about jank, if you guys are not familiar with jank, it basically just means like a little bit of stutteriness or lag when opening and closing apps and stuff like that. So okay, going back to it, this does come with 32 gigs of internal memory. So not too big of a deal as far as memory goes, but you might want to get that micro SD card slot filled in with right up here. Actually, right up here where you put your SIM card is actually where you're going to get that micro SD card slot. So let me see if I can get that to focus. Right there where my thumb is, guys. Okay, it's a very solid phone all the way around. Beautiful screen, beautiful phone. But one thing you're going to want to do probably after you get this phone is you're going to get a freaking phone case for this, because again, if you drop this, it's going to crack. Same thing with the front, obviously, but I find that this thing is actually, like, if it's on a desk or something, it slides around really easily. So if that's something that you guys are like at lunch or something and you accidentally nudge it with your elbow, it's gonna slide around really quick. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it is very slippery to the touch also. So if you guys again are not wanting a phone that is going to fall off your desk or fall off something while you guys are doing something, that I recommend getting a case for this phone. Okay, so let's go to the software now, guys. Okay, so again, this is running Android 8.0 out of the box. This phone does update several times, just to get the apps updated, the firmware updated. So one thing you're gonna notice is that Motorola still has that lift little feature that it'll turn on your camera, or it'll tell you what time it is, and it'll tell you how much battery life you have. So again, that's a little feature that a lot of other phone makers copied, like iOS for instance, and I'm not too sure about Samsung. Samsung has that always on display and all that stuff, and but I always like this little feature just because if you want to glance at the time or whatever. And let's see, it's not always accurate though. Sometimes it does turn on by itself. Like let's say you have this laying on your bed, it does kind of turn on its own, but it's pretty cool. So again, one thing that you guys should know is this thing does have front facial camera recognition actually. So it does have, instead of me having to use the fingerprint sensor like I normally would, I can just unlock this with my phone. So it does have face unlock with your phone. Okay, so if I wanted to, let me see if I can look at it right now without touching it. It does unlock on its own. Okay, so it did recognize me. I know I'm like right behind the camera, but it still managed to recognize me. So let's do that really quick. It might ask for your PIN. The PIN's only there in case your facial recognition does not work, guys. So okay, let's go back here. So again, running Android 8.0 out of the box. You know, it's pretty vanilla Android. If you guys are not familiar with vanilla Android, it's, you know, I've never seen the 8.0 skin, so if this is what it looks like, you know, it might be it might look a little different, but for the most part, you know, it looks good. I mean, the screen looks good to me, and I'm not sure if you guys are seeing that or not. System updated. Let's see, it's checking to update. So it is saying that Android version 8.0 is up to date. Not to say that that's the newest and latest, greatest. You know, once the new Pixel devices come out, you're gonna have the Android P or Android Pie or whatever they call it. So, you know, again, you're not having the latest, greatest version of Android isn't always going to be a deal breaker, guys. You know, I don't you know, see that this having Android 8.0 is going to be anything wrong, but at the same time, you know, if you guys want to have the latest and greatest version of Android, you might want to get other phones like the Pixel, you know, the Pixel 3 when it comes out. But for the most part, you know, this is going to get the job done. Okay, so apps that come with this phone out of the box, you know, it does not come with a lot of bloatware. The only bloatware that, and you know, I have downloaded apps like Twitter, Facebook, you know, YouTube, etc. like that. A lot of it just comes with your typical YouTube bloatware or Google bloatware, excuse me. So it comes with Chrome, it comes with other apps like Duo, Google Drive, etc. like that. So, you know, it's not really going to come with a lot of bloatware. The only bloatware that it might come with that might annoy you is Moto Assist, which is an app that allows you to do little features that, you know, are not keen to other phones. Okay, so like right here, it's just giving me like a little recommendations like prevent disruptions on your phone, flip your phone over to turn it on silent. It tells you right here that I have 44 gigs of storage. Obviously, I put in a memory card. Estimated battery life 29 hours, etc. like that. You know, it gives you a little bit of things, and then you have your features where it gives you what's called Moto Key. And Moto Key is just, you know, it allows you to have your password set to like various websites. Let me see if I can raise this up actually. Okay, and of course you have Moto Actions. So Moto Actions just allows you to do little things like, you know, lift to unlock. You know, if you don't want to have to put your fingerprint sensor on there, you can do that. 3-finger screenshot, 1-button nav, chop twice for flashlight, which is always a feature that I've always enjoyed. Twist to take a quick capture, and then swipe to shrink screen. Little features that you can turn on. Again, I'm not going to go over every single one, at least not in this little review video. But you know, I might make separate videos just for that, guys. So let me see if I can get the light turned back in here. There you go. So again, that is your Moto Assist feature, and let me just kind of show you. Let me do the chop. The chop turns on your cell phone light. Look at that. I love that. And of course, my other favorite one, which is twist, and it'll turn on your camera. Okay, so you know, now that we're talking about camera, guys, that I think that's probably one important feature that a lot of people are going to want to know about. Okay, so the camera, to be honest, is probably going to be a not pass for me on this phone. You know, again, it does sport a 12 megapixel camera. And it does have dual cameras. Obviously, one of them is for it's a 5 megapixel, and the other one's a 12. And you know, the other one's mostly for like different type of shots. Obviously, its aperture is f1.8 again. And I'm going to show you guys some sample video and pictures just so you guys can kind of see what this can do as far as video footage and picture footage. But I really wasn't impressed, not so much by the camera, but the camera software, guys. Camera software is horrible on this thing, by the way. It does take forever to just start up. Like, let me give you another example of that. Okay, I mean, again, that's a deal breaker for me. Let's see. But for the most part, you know, it does take solid pictures. Can't complain. And again, I'm going to show you guys a few pictures and a few videos just so that you can check that out. But the camera, obviously, you know, has a set of features that, you know, you're not going to see on other smartphones. You know, it does have you know, HDR. Obviously, it's on auto, so if you want to turn that on, you can turn it off. Automatic flash on and off. You know, it does have a different type of modes that you can turn on and off as well. Portrait mode, cutout mode, a spot color mode, a panorama, text scanner, which, you know, if you have like a QR code or something that you don't recognize, it'll scan the text and then it'll look it up on Google, etc., like that. Slow motion, time lapse. You know, time lapse is a pretty standard thing nowadays, and of course YouTube Live. Okay, and it does have face filters, which is not my favorite thing on here, honestly. I don't know if I can even flip the camera. I might have to put something on there, but face filters, again, you know, why implement face filters in something like the camera? Okay, that doesn't really matter to me, right? But again, you know, that you can use that third-party apps like Snapchat or Instagram on something like that, guys. But again, you know, again, to each his own, I guess. If you guys don't want that, or if you do want it, you know, I can flip the screen, guys. Here I am, right, shooting this lovely video for you. Here you go. What's up, guys? Mike from BTR Budgetary Reviews here. And again, the front-facing camera. Let me take a picture of myself. You know, it's not bad. Again, it does have a flash, so, you know, again, picture mode isn't horrible. Video mode isn't horrible either. Again, I'm going to show you guys a few sample clips. So let's show you guys those clips right now. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed those clips and shots of the camera so you guys can see what the camera can do. So now I'm going to show you guys the last part of this review video. Let me move that mouse out of the way, actually. Would probably be the gaming, okay? So a lot of people are into gaming, obviously, and gaming is something that, you know, I don't do because I'm just not a fan of mobile gaming, but I'm going to show you guys gaming on this phone, so let's check it out. Alright guys, so that was gaming on the Moto G6. I chose Tekken, was a new one for me. I wanted to try Tekken just because, but again guys, that was gaming. Hopefully you enjoyed that. So just my final thoughts on the videos, or on this phone, etc. guys, since this video I'm sure is already going up to like 15 minutes long already. But anyways, not to bore y'all, right? But you know, my final thoughts on this phone is I really, you know, do think that this is one of the top rated budget phones in 2018. You know, of course, obviously I'm biased on that because, you know, I haven't reviewed a lot of other budget phones, but you know, you can't go wrong with anything under $300 that's going to give you the performance that this specific phone does. You know, the cool part about, you know, Motorola phones is they're very fast, they're very snappy. You know, again, their cameras, of course, you know, are great, but one of the features that I didn't like was the camera hardware, or the software to go with it. Unfortunately, because the software just ruins the camera mode for me because it's just so bad, you know. So again, you know guys, you know, I really wish that elaborate more and more on this phone, but again, I can only make this video so long. But again guys, you know, if you were to buy a budget smartphone in 2018, and you were looking for something again under $300, again this is under the $250 price point, so I would definitely give this phone a thumbs up, the Moto G6. Now again, you know, there are other phones out there like the Moto E5 that just came out a while back also, that, you know, can just compete on a good level, especially with phones like this. So, you know, I think it's cool that Moto is actually making phones, other brands of phones on their lineup that can compete with whatever they have on their current lines. So again guys, you know, if you're looking for that bigger battery, I would actually go with the Moto 6G Play. Although again, if you get the Moto G6 Play, you're only going to get one camera instead of two, but again, that might not be a deal breaker for you guys. Again, no NFC on this phone, so if you guys want to use Android Pay or whatever, you know, if you want to pay like at a store or like at a restaurant and it has that, it's not going to give you that feature, unfortunately. You know, fingerprint sensor works really good. I can't complain about that. The facial unlock feature works really good. I cannot complain about that either. So again, USB Type-C on the bottom, you know, it's 2018. Headphone jack, again, you know, for the people that care about headphone jacks. And just, you know, I can say a million other things. The LTE speeds on this phone are amazing, by the way, if you have T-Mobile. So again, guys, this is Mike from BTR Budget Tech Reviews. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please give it a share, and as always, guys, thank you for watching my videos. Please subscribe, and we'll see y'all next time.